Discord bots are always a fun thing to interact with for many various reasons. So today we're going to learn how to create one of them. So the first thing we're going to need to get is Node. So over here I use NVM, and the earliest version you're going to need is 16.11.0, because that is, you'll need 16.11.0 or greater to run Discord.js v14. I would suggest going with the latest Hydrogen release. These are long-term support versions, and they are usually fairly stable. But if you want to go with the latest releases, that's fine. To install them, you can go on Windows, you can go ahead, visit nodejs.org. They have a whole bunch of downloads here. They have the same for other operating systems like Macs, and they also have Linux downloads here. But for Linux, it's recommended to use your package manager to download it, or use what I have, NVM. I'll put a link in the description to download it. It's fairly simple, and you can switch between multiple node versions like that. So, and the next thing you're gonna need is some type of IDE. It can be Visual Studio Code, but it can also be something else, Atom, Sublime Text, Vim, just something to edit. It can even be Notepad++. I'd recommend a more high-level one though, that has a terminal. It'll just be easier for us to use. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to have to head over to discord.com/developers/applications, and if you haven't created anything, you won't see anything here. Of course, I have something there. But we're going to click on new application, and we're going to create application name. For me, it's going to be Hackinetic. You agree to the terms of service, and then click create. I'm going to give mine a quick bot icon, the same icon I use for about everything else I create. And then over here we want to save our changes, be careful about that, and then go over to the bot section. A bot should already be created for you, but if it's not, there should be a build a bot button, and you can build one there. Some important settings to authorize. Public bot basically allows anyone to invite it to your server. This is only development mode for now, so I'm going to uncheck that for now. Next important thing is privileged gateway intents. I will go in some more detail about what these are, but you will want to turn on all of them. Now that we have our bot created, we're going to need to invite it to a server. So over here we're going to click this, and then we're going to go URL generator. There's a bunch of different scopes that you have here, but we want the main one is bot, and we want application.commands, which will allow us to register and send / commands. Next, we can select the bot permissions. You can go ahead and customize whichever permissions you want, but since I don't really know what I want to do with this, or if I just want to give it all permissions, I'm going to go with administrator. And now we got a generated URL here. So we're going to go ahead and copy this and then head over to our Discord. I'm going to be using the development server I created for this, and then I'm just going to go ahead and paste this in here and then click this. So it'll prompt me with something to add it to this server. You can also select other servers, but I want to add it to this server. I'm going to continue and then authorize, and then it's going to confirm if you're human or not. I hope I am, and good. So now if we go to the development zone, we can see our bot, but there's a slight problem. It is currently offline now. So now we're going to learn how to take it online. First thing we're going to have to do is navigate to where you want your project folder. For example, this is where I do all my coding projects, so I want to do it here, and I want to, of course, create a separate folder first, just to keep everything neat, and then after that we can do npm init-y, which is basically to initialize our npm file, and then we're going to go ahead and install a couple packages. So we're going to install discord.js and .env. Discord.js is the main framework we're going to be using to interact with the Discord API. And then after that, we're going to install as a dev dependency. That's what the -d means here. We're going to install nodemon as a development dependency. This will help development easier, as we won't have to restart our code multiple times. After this, our project should be all set up, and you can go ahead and go to your IDE. So once we're in our IDE, we're going to go ahead and go into our package.json, which is basically the configuration for our project. So we're going to go ahead and make some scripts. We're going to make a start script, and that's just going to be node space dot. and then we're going to make a dev script, which is just going to be node1. Right. And then I'm going to put myself as the author here. You can put your name there. I will be publishing this to GitHub. That's the main reason why. And for this, we're going to want to do src/main. Reason for this being is because all our code is going to go inside src/main. Create yourself your main.js file, and then we're ready to start. So we're going to start by doing something simple, getting Discord.js. So basically, I want classes, objects, data from this package, Discord.js. So we're going to go ahead and import client and intent bit field. And now we've done that, we're going to actually start creating our client. So we're going to go ahead, const client equals new client. This takes in many parameters, as you see here, but only one is required to get the bot started, which in this case is intents. And this is an array, so we'll make it an array, not an object. And in here, we can specify different intents. Now the way to specify intents is you can do intent bits field dot flags lowercase and then dot gills like I have here. So basically intents are a set of permissions that let us access events. For example, this guild over here, there's actually some good docs on, we can search up gateway intents discord, and then we can go over to here, and if we scroll, here's some information about intents, but if we scroll down here, we'll get a list here. This has all the list of intents. For example, we did the guild intents, so in here, now that we have access to this, we have access to guild create, guild update, guild delete, guild, all of these instances here. And essentially a guild is a server. So server create, server update, server delete, access threads, channels, all that sort of stuff. And there's a whole bunch over here that you can specify. So we're actually going to go with the basic ones here. We're going to do intents bit field flags guilds. We're going to do guild messages. We're going to do guild members. And we're going to do message content. This will be pretty important for today because we'll be messing with that stuff. Now we are actually ready to get our bot online. So we can go ahead and import our token here. So for example, client.login, and this would be where our token is. So to get our token, which is essentially your Discord's bot password so we can access it, we're going to go here and then go to developer forms over here, go to bot, and then here will be a token right here. You're going to have to click reset token, like for example if I were to go back to applications, here, bot, you're going to have to reset your token. I would have to put my 2FA code in, and then you get your token. Go ahead here, from here, paste it. And now from here we should be able to run our code. So we're going to open a new terminal by clicking terminal, new terminal, right here, and then we're going to run our dev script right now. So now our bot is running, and if we go to Discord, we should be able to see that our Discord bot is indeed running, right here. But it doesn't really do anything. Can't get it to do anything. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a few things with it. So there's a whole bunch of events that we can do with this. For example, there's an event called client.onReady. Specifically, like this. When the bot turns on, do this set of code. One second. This should be working like that. Alright, so execute this set of code.
Bruh. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
So this is what the function you're gonna want to create, and for example, we can just log something simple, like for example, kinetic is ready, and then if we start, we can see it. If we want to restart it, and we just run the script again, it would say kinetic is ready whenever the bot is online. So now we're gonna go ahead and actually see if we can get messages on the bot. So to do that, there's another client.on, and it's called message create specifically. So essentially what we're doing here is we're getting the event handler message create, and we're passing in the parameter message here. Don't worry about it not being read. What we're gonna do is we will create an if statement here, and we're not gonna do this yet. But what we will do is we're gonna do message dot author dot bot. This is essentially saying if a message is coming from the bot, don't do anything. Would prefer not to. And now we're going to get another if statement, which will be our actual responding. So for example, if we were to say if the message were to contain ping, we would send back pong. So we can actually go ahead and test that. There we go. Now it's working. So if we go ahead and see, we can see kinetic is ready. And if we go here, bot commands, we must type what we put in there. So we put ping. So ping pong. So that's the bot responding to your messages. Now we can go ahead and do something else that's really important. So we just have a token lying around in here, which is probably not the best, especially if you're publishing this to GitHub. You don't want everyone to have access to your token. They should be able to create their own application and test your bot. So we're gonna go ahead and actually use the package that we installed earlier, .env. So in the main.js file, there's actually a little bit of setup. We're gonna do require.env.config, and then just load our .env in the root directory, which would be here, not in the src folder. In the env, you can put something like kinetic token, something like that, or Discord bot token, or whatever you would like to put. And then we can just paste this long string from there to here. This doesn't have to be in a string as such. And then since we've already initialized our .env, we can go ahead and get rid of this and get rid of the quotes. And we can just do process.env instead of Discord token, it would be kinetic token. And we can go ahead and see that our bot has run. So we have initialized both these message create and .env today. So I think that is all that we're going to do today. So if you enjoyed, show your support, and we'll see you in the next one.